The courtroom smelled of polished wood, old paper, and quiet lies. Ethan Cole sat at the defense table, hands folded so tightly his knuckles were white. The oath he had sworn an hour ago still echoed in his ears. To tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. He had repeated the words clearly, confidently, like a man with nothing to hide. But the truth was heavier than stone. Across the room, Assistant District Attorney Mara Vance watched him with practiced calm. She had learned long ago that guilt did not always sweat or tremble. Sometimes it smiled. Sometimes it wore a tailored suit and spoke in steady sentences. Ethan Cole was accused of murdering his business partner, Daniel Reed. The evidence was thin. No eyewitnesses, no murder weapon, just circumstantial threads woven into something that looked like a rope. And today, everything depended on testimony. 6 months earlier, Daniel Reed's body was discovered in his downtown office, slumped behind his desk with a single gunshot wound to the chest. The security system had been disabled. The door was locked from the inside, a classic locked room mystery, except for one detail. Daniel Reed had called Ethan Cole just 15 minutes before he died. Cell phone records proved it. At first, Ethan told police the call was about finances, another argument about the company's future. Reed Innovations was bleeding money, and Daniel wanted to sell. Ethan refused. Daniel was emotional. Ethan said during his first interview, "He always was, but I didn't kill him." The police believed him. At least at first. Then they found the email. Mara Vance still remembered the moment the forensic tech forwarded it to her. An email sent from Ethan Cole's account to Daniel Reed, 2 days before the murder. "If you go through with this, you'll regret it. I promise." Defense would argue it was metaphorical, business threats, heated language. Mara didn't buy it. Threats mattered, motive mattered, and when you stacked motive with opportunity, you got a case. Still, it wasn't enough, not yet. Then the witness came forward. Her name was Leila Morneau, Daniel Reed's executive assistant for 5 years. On the stand, Leila sat rigid, hands folded in her lap. Her voice trembled just enough to sound honest. "I saw Ethan Cole enter the office building the night Daniel died," she testified, "around 10:30 p.m. Defense counsel objected. Speculation. The judge overruled. Mara leaned forward. "Ms. Morneau, are you certain it was Mr. Cole?" "Yes," Leila said. "I know him well," the courtroom murmured. Ethan didn't react. He stared straight ahead. Mara asked the question she had rehearsed 100 times. "Did you see him leave?" Leila swallowed. "No." That was enough. "A man enters, a man dies. The same man doesn't leave." The jury leaned in. Ethan took the stand the next day. He was calm, too calm. "I did not go to Daniel's office that night," he said clearly. "I went home after work. I was alone." Mara rose slowly. "Mr. Cole," she said, "are you aware that your cell phone pinged a tower 2 blocks from Mr. Reed's office at 10:42 p.m.? Ethan hesitated, just a fraction of a second. "That must be an error," he said. "Technology isn't perfect." Mara nodded. "No, but patterns are." She let that hang. Ethan had just lied under oath, and Mara knew it. What the jury didn't know, what no one knew, was what happened 3 years earlier. Reed Innovations hadn't just been a company. It had been a gamble. Ethan had invested everything, his savings, his marriage, his reputation. Daniel Reed had been reckless, charming, and ruthless. When profits dipped, he didn't hesitate to move money, sometimes illegally, to cover losses. When Ethan confronted him, Daniel laughed. "If this goes public," Daniel said, "we both go down." That was the trap, silence or ruin. Daniel was already drinking when Ethan arrived. "You're too late," Daniel said, waving a folder. "I've got a buyer. Tomorrow I sign. That buyer will audit it everything." Ethan said, "The shell accounts, the transfers." Daniel smiled. "Then you should have stopped me sooner." They argued. Voices rose. Accusations flew. Then Daniel reached into his desk drawer. Ethan froze. "I don't trust you anymore," Daniel said. "And you don't trust me." The gun was real. What happened next took less than a second. Daniel slipped. The gun fired. Daniel fell. Ethan screamed. He hadn't touched the weapon, but panic had already won. He wiped the desk, disabled the cameras, locked the door, then he left, and that was his second crime. The trial took a turn on day 6. Mara called an unexpected witness, a janitor named Thomas Griggs. "Mr. Griggs," she asked, "did you see anyone in the building after 11 p.m. on the night of the murder?" "Yes," Griggs said. "A woman." Leila Morno's head snapped up. Mara kept her voice neutral. "Can you identify her?" Griggs pointed, her face drained of color. Leila Morno had been there too. Under cross-examination, Leila's story unraveled. Her timeline didn't match the security logs. Her badge had been used at 11:12 p.m., long after she claimed to leave. Ms. Morno, Mara said softly, "Why didn't you mention being there that night?" Leila's voice shook. I forgot." Mara's tone hardened. "You forgot being present at a murder scene?" Silence. Then Leila whispered, "I was scared." The truth spilled fast once the dam broke. Leila had been stealing from Daniel for months, small amounts, unnoticed. That night, she went back to retrieve files Daniel had discovered, files that proved her theft. She arrived after Ethan left. Daniel was already dead. She panicked, and when police questioned her, she lied. Pointed the finger at Ethan, a lie under oath. The courtroom was silent as the jury returned. On the charge of first-degree murder, the foreman said, "We find the defendant not guilty." Ethan closed his eyes. Mara exhaled slowly, but justice wasn't done yet. Leila Morno was arrested on the courthouse steps for perjury, obstruction of justice, and evidence tampering. As for Ethan Cole, he walked free, legally innocent. Morally stained, Mara found Ethan outside, standing alone under the courthouse steps. "You lied," she said. "Yes," Ethan replied, "but I didn't kill him." "No," Mara agreed, "you didn't." She studied him. "The truth has a way of resurfacing." Ethan nodded. "I know. Because some lies die in court, others live forever." Months later, Ethan testified again, this time voluntarily, against himself, against the company. Reed Innovations collapsed under investigation. Ethan lost everything again, but this time it was honest, because the law punishes crimes, but the oath punishes lies. And the worst lies are the ones we tell ourselves, while standing on the witness stand, hand on a book, swearing to a truth we're not ready to face. The night Daniel died, Ethan had gone to the office. Not to kill him, but to beg.